best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. I won't take nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope you are well. It is Tuesday. It is December the 13th, and we are rocking and rolling. I hope everybody had a great Monday. Hope Tuesday's looking good for everybody. Good morning, Vanessa. Morning. Hope you are great. Do you have all your Christmas shopping done? Is everything under the tree? You ready to roll? Are you still waiting? Good morning, Laren. How are you? You guys all have your Christmas shopping done? Everything's finished? Picked up, done, under the tree, wrapped up, finished. Y'all got good morning to you. Or are you like our family and you wait till like December 23rd to start Christmas shopping? Oh, good. We're not the only one. Good morning, Anna. How about you, Teal? You got your Christmas shopping done? You seem like somebody would have your Christmas shopping done. People kill me, man. They buy my grandmother used to do that. She used to buy presents like all year long, and then she'd still go shopping like the week before. I guess I don't think about that. Yep. Teal's done. How about you, Laren? Laren, is yours all finished? You got your Christmas shopping done? Everything's wrapped under the tree and rocking and rolling. Heck, I'm not even sure our tree's all the way decorated. I think we're about 40% of the way there. She's been a weird. Laren said nope, she doesn't either. And I know Anna didn't have her Christmas shopping done. You know what, Anna? I lie. I would be super shocked. I'm not saying you don't, but I would be super shocked if you had all your Christmas shopping done. Yours done? I'll wait for Anna. You there? She said, heck no. Everybody I know, it's like tonight's the Christmas party. And last year we had all kinds of stuff already purchased and done. Sorry, my eyes are tired this morning. We had all kinds of stuff purchased and done and ready for door prizes. And we don't have any of that done right now. So I'm not sure what our plan is, but I would venture to guess we're going to be spending some time today shopping before going to Watkinsville and knocking this thing out. But one thing I know about Christy, she seems to find a way to pull rabbits out of her hats. And if her life would be so much easier if she would prepare for this, but she seems to get a kick out of going like hair on fire, balls to the wall, and trying to get it all done at the last minute. So we'll do it again this year, and it'll be fantastic. We'll have a blast. I'm still looking forward to tonight. I know we've got some people that aren't coming, and I'm disappointed in that, but the ones that are there and the ones that come, it'll be super fun. I'm looking forward to that. Are y'all? And I think there's 2 or 3 folks that aren't coming that are on this call, but I wish you'd come. I wish you'd reconsider, make that little bit of sacrifice, that little bit of sacrifice to be there for this Christmas party tonight. It's going to be so much fun, and we get to celebrate you guys and have a ball and laugh and cut up. So if you're thinking you're not going to make it, try to talk yourself into it today. So. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Tuesday. How does the song work? So I put on here the second day of Christmas, but is this like the first day or the 12th day of Christmas? Do you stop at Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day is Christmas Day? So it's like the 12th to the 24th or the 12 days of Christmas. I never do remember, but I think I asked that yesterday. I don't know what day we're on. I don't know if it's a partridge in a pear tree or my true love gave to me or whatever it is, but I'm not real sure. But hey, y'all, let's rock and roll this morning, man. Let's get this day off to a great start and and let's have some drive today. I know this is kind of that we're in a weird spot, right? Because we're 12 days from Christmas, and so we kind of feel like we want to start to slow down a little bit. We feel like we want to start to drift a little bit. We feel like we want to start to get away from our business a little bit, and I'm all for that, man. There's something to be said. Good morning, Lynn. There's something to be said for balance. We had a SWAT meeting yesterday, and one of the weaknesses was being too emotional, and emotion drives passion, passion drives action, action drives results, right? So when you're super super passionate about something, um, that drives your actions, and your actions drive your results, and that's kind of what I've been reading this book, and the readings that I had this morning. I mean, that was what it was talking about, was that there's this future thing out here, and so many of us. And there's a question I'm going to ask and I want you to think about this morning. If I can find the question, I want to ask you real quick, and I want you to answer this. So get to a place. I know if you're getting ready for the day, or there's something else going on in your life right now, kind of get around to where you can type an answer. So I want to ask you these questions. Do you believe your life is random, or do you believe your life can be designed? Do you believe your behavior and situations are random, or do you believe your behaviors and situations are influenced and shaped? So do you believe that you're going to end up where you end up no matter what, or do you believe that you have the ability to design where you end up? And I'm super interested to hear, y'all type that in there, because I'm super interested to see what you guys believe, because that belief drives everything else. So while you guys are typing, I'm gonna just introduce myself. My name is Aaron Dwyer, and if this is your first time to be here, I know it's not for all the folks that are live here. You've been here over and over and over again, but if you watch this later, I am one of the broker owners of Exit Realty Lake Country, and every single morning, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, Monday through Friday, we get up and have a conversation with our agents and talk with folks that jump on here from our company and some of our family and friends and affiliate companies. So just if you get a chance to watch this, it's great. Enjoy it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Please push the button and like this and subscribe, so we get some more viewers on here. So back to what my question was, and I want you to type this in here. Do you believe your life is random, or do you believe you can design it? Do you believe you're just a random product of situations and influences and conditions, or do you believe you are a result of definite action? And I want you guys to type it in here. So type your answer in there, because I want you to think about this. And I want you to tell me what you think right now. Excuse me, because I do believe that has a lot to do with where you are and where you go and how we have these conversations. So do you believe? Sorry, y'all. Do you believe that this is a random thing? So Anna says, I think you can live a life by design for the most part. I'm working on being more design instead of random acts. Thank you for that answer, Anna. I think you can live a life by design. I think you can live a life by design for every part. And I think that's the challenge. That's a challenge for us. So thank you, Anna. Anybody else? Lynn? Good morning, Facebook user in the wave. How are you? Who's waving? What about you, Vanessa? Do you believe it's random? Do you believe it's that you can construct it? Teal, do you believe it's random, or do you believe you can design it? Laren, what do you believe? What do you think? Good morning, Cynthia. So Cynthia, we just asked a question. Do you believe your life is a product of randomness? Do you believe you're just a product and who you are right now and the situations that you are in right now and who you find yourself to be right now is a end result or a product of just random stuff happening? Or do you believe you have the ability and that you are where you're supposed to be by design? Lynn says design. I believe every one of us have the ability to construct a life of design. And that's where Vanessa says she's where she's supposed to be by design. And I believe that we have the ability to build a life by design. We have an ability to build our career by design. I think what I think so many of us get in this place of this habitual thought pattern and these feelings of that we really don't have any control over where we are or what we do. That we're just that what we experience is a random set of consequences that result from situations or behaviors or other people or other events outside of our control, and that we just live this life of consequences. And we are where we are because of all this stuff. So Cynthia said something, I think by life experiences, but we can make a choice to change our path. So we all, and here is my theory, and I don't know if I've tested this enough to say it out loud, but what I believe. You've heard this said, no no decision is a decision. If you choose to not make a decision on something, then you've made a decision. If in your past your life was, you believed, a random series of events that led you to where you are, there were decisions made along the way. The design of your life was one of randomness. The design of your life was more of an abstract painting where you were just throwing things against the canvas just to see if it would stick. It wasn't, you weren't sculpting. When you sculpt something, you have a design, right? You have a picture in your head, and each little carving and each little chisel and each little thing that you do to that, you are designing that stone to look a certain way as an end result. Whereas if you look at my grandmother, used to paint, and she loved to paint, and she loved to paint abstract stuff. So her paintings were all just randomness. You know, you look at some of Van Gogh's stuff. His stuff was a product of his brain, which is a lot of randomness. But it turns out at the end to be sometimes okay. But there's no pattern. There's no system. There's no structure in that. Although there is an end result. That's why so many of us, that's why so many and I believe this, why so many real estate professionals fail, why so many entrepreneurs fail, why so many people who go into business on their own, why they fail is because they're trying to create something of of substance, of value from a series of random events, from a series of unknown processes, from a collection of events that they may or may not have any control over. So what I've been talking to you guys about since July and August is having this picture. If it's and I use the word dream or desire because I want it to motivate you. I use the words dream and desire because I want it to be something that generates emotion and passion in you. We had that conversation yesterday, and we said, man, that's not having emotion and being emotional and having passion, that's not a negative thing. That's not a weakness at all. It's that passion that drives behavior. It's that passion of wanting something past the point of comfort. Passion drives us past the point of comfort. Passion drives us past the point of mediocrity. Passion drives us past our collections of habits. It's that passion that pushes us to want more, be more, and do more. Do you agree with that? Because I truly believe if you look at, I'm gonna use, and this analogy's popped in my head. I believe I always wanted to be a professional athlete when I was a kid, right? I always wanted to be a professional baseball player. That's what I wanted to do my entire life, is be a professional baseball player. Now that I'm 50 years old and I'm an adult and I look at what those guys, what a professional athlete has to do, that top 1% to stay at the top of their game, to stay in that place where their performance is ultra high, where they are always delivering results. They are in that spot. Y'all, I'm not sure any of us recognize the amount of dedication, unless you've got a professional athlete in your family and you deal with this on a regular basis. I'm not sure any of us understand what they actually have to do to maintain that level of performance. And I'm not sure me at 50 years old, if I were to look back at my 18-year-old self and I were to write a letter to my 16-year-old self or 15-year-old self from 50 years old, my letter may have been, man, you're going to have to work harder than you're working right now. You're going to have to put in more hours than you're putting in right now. Your passion is going to have to drive your behavior if you truly want this, because what these guys do who are elite, what they choose to focus on when they're elite, what they choose to put their time, energy, and effort into when they're elite, you don't have it right now. You're not doing it right now. So these are the things you need to do. You need to stop worrying about this. You need to stop chasing girls. You need to quit worrying about these things that don't matter if this is truly your goal. I mean, think about that. Perfect segue. Lainey was talking to me about this yesterday. She goes, next year, she said, I'd love to do like a do some trees, do a Christmas future tree, do a Christmas present tree, and do a Christmas past tree in our office. And that makes me think about what if you got visited by your ghost, your future ghost tonight? What if your future ghost woke you up tonight and took you through your life and what your life was going to look like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, the things that I'm telling you to do, the things that I'm asking myself to do right now? What if your future, the ghost of your future came in and picked you up and drug you out here and said, this is what your future looks like if you don't change. This is what your future looks like if you don't change this habit. If you don't put more into this relationship, if you don't time block your schedule, if you don't listen to these words that you say to yourself and you don't interrupt these habitual patterns, these are the people that you're not going to meet. These are the people that you're not going to touch. This is the sadness that you're going to experience. This is the regret that, can you imagine how, that's why that story's so powerful. Can you imagine how much you would change your present if you knew exactly what your future would look like? Because what this book says, and I'm looking at it right now, truth number one about connection to your future self is your future drives your present. So think about that. I want you to really truly think about that. I want you to think about what does your future look like in the set of patterns that you have right now, and the set of habits that you have right now, in your goal setting or your dream chasing or your vision board creation or everything that's associated with what you do now as a real estate professional, what you do now as a husband or a wife or a friend or a neighbor or a mother or a father, the things that you do right now. Your behavior right now is driven by what you believe your future is going to look like. And I know that to be absolute truth. Now, we don't always know what the future is going to, how it's always going to turn out. We don't know how, what are in those plans. We don't know what that's going to look like. We all want to focus on the, if we were diagnosed with cancer, then I'd live, and I had 6 months to live. We live these next 6 months like with reckless abandon. We would do all the things that we'd never do, that we would never have done otherwise in this 6 months. We would make sure that we pulled all the life experiences that we could pull into these 6 months. We would make sure that we loved these people, and that we did these things, and we provided for our family, and we did all these wonderful things because we knew we only had this our window was now this big instead of this big. Our comfort creates complacency. Our complacency creates mediocrity. And mediocrity left unchecked pulls you further away from your dreams and desires than anything else you can do. Because here's the scary thing. It boils the frog slowly. I always use that analogy. It boils the frog slowly. Do you know if you put a live frog into a pot of boiling water and you drop the frog in there, it will immediately jump out of the water. But if you put the frogs in cold water and slowly turn the heat up and slowly turn the heat up and slowly turn the heat up and finally get it to a boil, they'll never jump out of the pot. They'll stay right there and let you boil them. And that's what happens in our mediocrity, in our averageness, in our collection of habits. This little dude up here who's collected all these habits for us to make us feel better about ourselves sometimes and make our life super, super easy. Our habitual behavior drives. Good morning, Michelle. I didn't see you jump in there. Our habitual behaviors drive our mediocrity. Our mediocrity drives us not reaching our dreams and desires and our goals. Our mediocrity, it feels so super comfortable. And that's the double-edged sword about mediocrity. That's the double-edged sword about not having emotion. That's the double-edged sword about living a life of little passion and only being passionate about certain things, or living a life where you just kind of go through the motions. That's the downside of that. And so we use Christmas, we use holidays, we use birthdays, we use death, we use sickness, we use these random things that pop up, or these events that pop up to drive emotion, to drive passion, and our passion drives experiences. You know, I asked the question earlier, who has their Christmas shopping done? And the reason most of you don't have your Christmas shopping done is because it's not gotten, for all of us last minute people. The reason most of us don't get our Christmas shopping done, because it's not, our passion for Christmas shopping isn't driving our behavior yet. And so we wait until the last minute. We wait until we don't have any other choice but to go Christmas shopping. And so then our passion drives our crazy. And then we're in TJ Maxx on Christmas Eve until 10 o'clock at night with 3 buggies. You know, we're trying to go through and do all this stuff at the last minute, trying to get it all done because we know we got to get it done. But we knew we had to get it done. Hell, you know, you got to shop for Christmas right now. You know, you got to shop for Christmas 2023 right now. If that's what you believe and what you do, and you put presents under the tree for the people that you love, you know, next year, 360, how many days? 378 days from now, it'll be here again. Yet none of us do anything about it because the passion hasn't ramped up enough. There ain't enough emotion in that right. I said ain't. There's not enough emotion in that right now to drive your behavior. So we wait and we wait and we wait. Another year passes, another day passes, another month passes, another decision passes, another time block passes, and we just then become this collection of missed events that create in us this life of mediocrity. This life of it always being like it's always been. Raise your hand if you're tired of being mediocre. Raise your hand if you're tired of not reaching your goals. Raise your hand if you're tired of not being where you want to be. Raise your hand if you're tired of taking vacations in Panama City and you're ready to take vacations in Bora Bora. Y'all, I told y'all, I saw there was a lady on my Facebook page. I don't know who she is. She's a realtor out of somewhere, but she was taking a vacation in Bora Bora, and I'm telling you, that looked pretty cool. Their hotel is one of those things, like the little shack over the water, and they drove on a boat, brought breakfast to you on the boat. That looks pretty cool. You can sign me up for that one. Your future drives your present. The ghost of your future you, if she were to visit you today, and they were to show you what your life looks like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, based on what you're doing right now, your collection of habits, your collection of activities, your collection of acts, what you do right now on a daily basis, for the most part, what would your future self show you 10 years down the road? Do you think your future self 10 years down the road, based on what you've been doing, would say, well done? Look at these people you've touched. Look what you've been able to create for your kids. Does this not feel awesome? That's the whole purpose of the dream and the desire exercise, is because it gives you something to drive to. It gives you something to head toward. It gives you something to go after. But we've been so inundated so many times. We've been overwhelmed with goal setting. We've been overwhelmed with, hey, let's do this. You've been most of you have been seeing year after year after year after year. Your parents did it. Your grandparents did it. You've done it as an adult. You set these resolutions at the beginning of the year. Michelle Tilson sent something out the other day, yesterday, and said, "Hey, look, January 1st is coming around. We're doing 75 hard again. Who's in?" And people are like, "Oh my gosh, first of the year. That sounds great. What's involved? Can we read a book? I think I'm in." I didn't say a word other than, "Oh boy." That's all I said. Because I got to figure out if I'm going to do this thing, if I'm actually going to commit to it. I've got to figure out if I'm going to volunteer to do this thing, I'm going to commit to it. Because what I don't want to be is I don't want to reinforce failure. I don't want to reinforce quitting. I don't want to reinforce not having structure. I'm tired of being mediocre. I'm tired of it looking like it's always looked. And sometimes my passion comes from that place. Sometimes my passion comes because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And sometimes my emotion comes from I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I got to use that emotion to get passionate. And I got to use that passion to get past my discomfort. And I got to use that passion to drive my behaviors. And some of you need to do that right now. Some of you need to do that right now. Some of you need to be passionate about your goal setting. Some of you need to be passionate about your dream achievement. Some of you need to be passionate about your vision boards. Some of you need to be passionate about your real estate business. You need to be passionate about your spouse. You need to be passionate about the way you take care of yourself. You need to be passionate about your prospecting. You need to be passionate about how you follow up with referrals. You need to start generating passion. Have you ever met a world changer who wasn't passionate? Name one. You can't. I don't believe you can. I believe the passion is a part of being a world changer. I think passion is a part of doing something nobody else has done. I think passion drives you past, pushes you past listening to all the criticisms, listening to all the voices, listening to the people telling you you should quit, listening to the people tell you you're working too hard, you should take a break. There's more to life than this. There's certain blah 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 blah. All these things, passion becomes earmuffs. We learn to put blinders on in our passion. And I'm not saying y'all need to go y'all know we're all about harmony and balance, and we're all about creating a life of harmony, that your business piece of your life needs to be in harmony with the personal piece of your life, and the personal piece of your life needs to be in harmony with your family's piece, and all these things have to work together. But y'all, some of you with younger kids, what if you're Moses? What if you're supposed to lead your family to the promised land but never see it? What if your passion is to drive your kids' success? What if your passion is to drive and fuel your kids' dreams? What if you're like Moses and you never actually get to see the promised land yourself, but you create the legacy that everybody behind you sees it? Is that enough? And that question is kind of rhetorical. Is that enough? What if I never get a jet, but one of my kids does? Right? What if I never have my plane, but one of my children does? Is that enough? Is that okay? I I guess that's a question that I've got to answer for myself, and that's one of those life questions that I have to answer for myself. What if you had a conversation with your future self? And y'all, I think this is such a great exercise. Carrie said she's going to do it when her kids get in town. What if you had a conversation with your future self? You had a conversation with Lynn, had a conversation with Lynn, 2024 Lynn, and Lynn, 2022 Lynn, had a conversation with 2027 Lynn. What if Aaron Aaron 2022 had a conversation with Aaron 2027? What would I say? What advice would I give myself? Y'all, it is so important. It is essential to what you're doing as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as the driver of your business. It is so important that you have a passion tied to where you're going. And I believe that unbridled passion can be dangerous. That energy that's not contained, emotion that's not contained, passion that's not contained can create a lot of collateral damage. Focused energy, focused passion going in the direction of a goal, focused passion in the direction of a dream is powerful. It's powerful either way, but it's like that laser, right? If I take the laser is concentrated energy, it's concentrated light, it's concentrated into a small beam, and that small beam then can cut, it can create fire, it can create medical things. It's like a knife. That focused light, that focused energy on a singular point becomes a useful tool. But that same energy, that same light, if it's random and it's spread out wide, that spectrum of light is super wide, it doesn't do anything. It's just annoying. Heck, even if it's just that much wider, now it's a laser pointer, right? Even if those particles are just a little bit wider, now it's useful, but it's not near as useful as it could be. It's not near as powerful as it could be. So do you believe that your life is random? Or do you believe you can design it? Do you believe you can get so focused on the things that you're creating, on the things that you're doing, even on your relationships with your spouse, that you become so focused? Because this is something I truly believe this. I believe we've been duped into mediocrity. I believe we've been duped into being average. I believe we've been raised into feeling like it's wrong for us to strive and to achieve and to try to get more than our neighbor. That becomes selfish. That becomes a negative thing. That if we're always pushing to have the best of every piece of our life, that we become annoying, or that we think we're better than other people, or there are all these words that people use, or that this little dude says to you that pushes you back down into not wanting the best for yourself. That pushes you back down into being like everybody else. That takes that cold, wet blanket and throws it over the fire of your passion and snuffs out your flame. I don't at all think it's wrong to want the best in every single thing in your life. I don't think it's all wrong to want to have the best marriage, the best relationship. Good morning, Miss Brenda. The best business. Be the best real estate agent. Make the most money. Be number one on your board. Be a world changer. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I believe in that conversation yesterday, the person that said, one of my weaknesses is emotion. I believe that's a piece, something that person's heard over and over and over again, that not only from other people, but from herself, from this little dude right here that says, if you weren't so emotional, it wouldn't be this way. If you weren't so emotional, you wouldn't act this way. If you weren't so emotional, it wouldn't feel like this. This is your fault because you're too emotional. This is your fault, blah, 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 blah. That's what we do to ourselves. We allow these things in our lives to do it to us. And I'm to the point now, just personally, I don't like mediocrity. I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want Exit Realty Lake Country to be like every other real estate company. I don't want our agents in our company to be like every other real estate agent in this industry. I don't want any of you to make $30,000 in 1 year. I would love it if our minimum income was like $300,000. When people looked at Exit Realty Lake Country, they knew when they joined our company that in 12 to 18 months, they were going to be bringing home $300,000 in commission. I would love it if people looked at Exit Realty Lake Country and the rumors sitting around and go, man, if you go over there, those people know what they're doing. And you go to Exit Realty Lake Country, you go over there and work with Aaron and Christy, and I promise you, if you make less than $300,000, it's just because you don't care. It's just because you don't want to. Because everybody that cares and everybody that wants to in their company, they make 300. I mean, they're making money. Not that money's everything, but money creates some memories. If you had an extra $300,000 in your bank account in the next 12 months, would your life look different 12 months from now? If you had an extra $300,000 in your bank account in 12 months, would you take the same vacation in 12 months that you take right now? Would you drive the same cars? Would you go to the same restaurants? Would you feel the same pressures? You feel pressure, but it might be different. If you closed enough transactions to do that, how much would your life change? See, I believe consequences that we experience, I believe we have the ability to create our consequences. We have the ability to create the effect. I believe that we are the cause. I believe we have the ability as humans to design our lives. I believe every single morning we can wake up and we can design our day and we can decide what kind of day we're going to have. And we can take 4 or 5 minutes to visualize the kind of day we're going to have. We can take 4 or 5 minutes to visualize the kind of business conversations that we're going to have, or the lunch that we're going to have, or the dinner that we're going to have. I believe we have the ability to every single day get in a habit of designing that 24 hours. And if we design enough 24-hour periods, if we design and we can put enough of those periods together, and we could put 365 of these 24-hour periods together in a line, in a string, where we get up that day, 365 days, 365 times, we get up and we design the next 24 hours. Next day we get up, we design that 24 hours. Next day we get up, we design that 24 hours. I believe we could change the world. I believe you could change the world. Y'all, that's why the 75 hard thing, that's why New Year's resolutions, that's why the morning miracle or the miracle morning, why savers, why we talk about having your morning routine is because I'm trying to get you to understand subtly under the radar that you have the ability to create your life. You have the ability to design your days. And if you can get in a habit of stringing enough of these days together, if you can get in a habit of putting enough of these days together, your life will look different 12 months from now than it looks today. If you choose to do nothing, if you choose to stay right where you are because you got it as good as you're going to get it, and you believe what you have is all you're supposed to have, and you believe right now that this life that you've got is perfectly fine with you, then guess what? 12 months from now, it's going to look just like it looks right now. If you believe you don't deserve the effort, the success that you've had, if you believed it was a flash in the pan, if you believed it's a one-off, if you believed you just got lucky and caught a break, that you really don't deserve this kind of life, or you really don't deserve that kind of spouse, or you really don't deserve that kind of house, or you really don't deserve to make that much money, 12 months from now, it's going to look different. And it's not going to be the way you want to see it. My mug says dream, plan, do. Dream, plan, do. Most of y'all are football fans. You're all from Georgia. Y'all understand football. The goal of any football team is to win the game. The goal of any football team is to win the game. The ultimate goal of any football team is to win the championship. But to win the championship, they have to win more games than the other teams. To win the championship, they have to have more victories than losses. To win the championship, those individual games have got to equal more wins than losses. Agree? So then we break down the individual game. To win the game, one team has to score more points than the other team. And in football, that means you either kicking a ball through two posts or you run the ball into the end zone. And whichever team does that the most ends up winning. But to get to that end result of running the football into the end zone or kicking the football through the goalpost, there are a series of events that move the team down the field. There are players who all work in unison, doing their individual 11 players doing their individual things as a collection of a team to achieve a goal of scoring more points than the other team. But to break that down even further, every one of those actions that the team, whoever gets the most first downs, whoever drives down the field the most, whoever completes the most passes, whoever runs the ball the most, whoever does the things that are supposed to do, and we break it down even further, whoever does those things better than the other team typically scores more points and typically wins the game. And if you can put enough of those victories together, then you can win a championship. You create a legacy, win enough championships, and then you in football, you're like a god. They erect statues in your honor. But to win a championship, it all breaks down into a series of individual events. And to win the games, they've got to practice. And when they go to practice, they practice these individual things over and over and over. They practice to the point they can't lose. They do it so much they can't lose. They're not playing not to lose. They're not practicing not to lose. They're practicing to win. They're practicing to the point they can't get it wrong. Our lives are a collection of these small individual moments. And winning those brief, small, individual moments, if we can win enough of these individual moments, if you can win enough of your individual mornings, if you can win enough of your days, if you can win more days than you lose, if you can win more deals than you lose, if you can win more relationships than you lose, if you can win more parenting wins than you lose, if you can win more than you lose in your life, you're a champion. In the end of this deal, you walk up, and if you're a Christian, you walk up and God says, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." You did what you're supposed to do. These are the lives you've touched. These are the people that you've helped. This is the legacy that you've created. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. I'm looking forward to saying well done to every one of you at the end of 2023 because you put a plan in place. You had a dream. You put a plan in place. And then every single day, every single action, every single block, every single run through the hole, every little random act that you did was in the direction of your dreams. That your present actions and what you do on a daily basis were always in the direction of your dreams. That you're not looking back, you're always looking forward. You don't regret what you missed out on, but you're excited about what you get to do. You don't regret your mistakes in the past, but you're passionate about the direction that you're going. We're all, y'all, the Bible says we all fall short. We all fall short. We all do things that are dumb. We all make bad decisions. We waste days, we waste hours, we waste time. My challenge to you on December the 13th, 2022 is stop wasting your days. Stop wasting your moments. Because every single moment, every single second turns into a minute. Every single minute turns into an hour. Every single hour turns into a day. Every single day turns into a month. Every single month turns into a year. Every single year turns into your life. And I so want you guys to recognize that these are the patterns that I have. This is what I got to change. And pick one of those things out and say, today I'm doing this. I'm doing the opposite of this today because this habit is getting out of my life because it is not serving me any longer. And then once you get that habit knocked out, pick you out another one. Part of that conversation yesterday was you got a time block. You got to you've got to have some structure in your day. You got to harness this freedom. You can't let the laser beam get out here. You got to focus and harness that laser and focus that energy, focus that light on what you're trying to achieve. And then when that clock strikes zero and it's time for you to move to the next thing, then move to the next thing. But I promise you, most of us in our day, we all say that we're putting out fires. We all say that we got to do this right now. There's very little we got to do right now. And when we're in the middle of something, we're in the middle of doing whatever it is that's in our time block and a phone call comes in, y'all, it's called voicemail. You do realize that a lot of companies, they have people, like the people who are in charge, who have a lot of balls to juggle and a lot of plates to spin. They usually have people called assistants. And those people who are called assistants are called gatekeepers. And those gatekeepers, guess what they do? They keep all the distractions from coming in. They keep all that random people that are calling you about health insurance and car warranties. And I want to sell you this thing. And I want to provide you this next tool. And hey, we got a great CRM for you. And hey, we've got leads from California that we want to pay you a 20% referral fee for. Are you available? Hey, I generate lists for leads. Hey, I can recruit your agents for you. All this crap that we have to hear on a daily basis. When a lot of those folks, they got people that answer those calls and they pay them $40,000, $50,000 a year to keep that stuff off of them. You, on the other hand, I, on the other hand, don't have that. So we're always on the phone. We're on our cell phone. This is the other piece about having an office phone that I thought would be that it's so fantastic that you put your cell phone down and you call on your office phone. You call on your office phone. You're in an office. You're doing your thing. You're working your business, and you return voicemails and you return text messages when it's time to return voicemails and text messages. And you only return certain ones. You have to return all of them. Because I promise you, not everything's a fire. Not everything has to be addressed right now. So what happens, we were sitting at the table last night and Lainey said, she said, you really can't multitask. Multitasking is a myth. But we've all been distracted into this multitasking thing. We've all been distracted and duped into believing that we can. And I'm the world's worst, y'all. I'm raising my hand right now. I have 3 monitors on my desk in Greensboro. I have 2 monitors on my desk in Mount Juliet. I use another monitor here at the house in Hartwell because I want to have 3 or 4 things going at once. Now, sometimes when I'm pulling from one to the other, those 3 screens are useful. Those 2 screens are useful. But more times than not, I've got my phone. I'm on my computer. I got a Facebook window up. I've got an Amazon app up. I've got a news app up. I've got Boomtown up. I have Turbo Leads up. And I got 74 things opened up on my desktop. And I'm trying to do one or the other or the other or the other. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, we've got to be focused. The freedom of this business is a double-edged sword. You've got to be focused. You've got to get some structure. You've got to sit down and decide this is what I'm doing right now. And everything else can wait. Everything else, don't Christmas shop during your workday. Okay? If you want to take half the day off and start Christmas shopping online, go do that. But right now, a lot of you're over here looking at Macy's and Kohl's, and I got to get this by this time, and I got to deliver this by this time, and do this by this time. But it's the same thing we do all day, every day, because been duped into believing that having all of this information and having all of this stimulus and having all these things that come into our minds are necessary. Y'all do realize I lived in a time where there weren't cell phones. Who were we having this conversation with the other day? Oh, it was at the hockey tournament. And we were talking about, there were some dads that were sitting around, and we were talking about our dads, and we were talking about how they worked. Our dads didn't come home. They didn't work on the weekends. They didn't come home and work on the weekends. When they got home at 5 or 6 in the afternoon, it was family time. They're in the yard throwing ball. They're in the backyard playing with the kids. It was family time. It was shut everything off. It's done. Even when my dad was a police officer, when I was younger and he was on call 24 hours, because bad stuff always happens, right? When you're a police officer, bad stuff, it doesn't stop. They're always doing stupid crap. Then he had a pager, and they would page him, and he'd get a pager, and he'd say, okay, you got to be here a certain time. And I remember when the pager used to be just phone numbers, right? And it would be a phone number. Then if somebody really, really needed you, they would put their phone number and they put 911. I mean, I remember a time when you didn't even know who's on the phone would ring, and you had no clue who was on the other end of the phone. You had no idea who was calling you. It was so scary. It was so spooky. I mean, think about that now. Now we know exactly. Now we can go up. I don't want to talk to them. Nope, don't want to talk to them. We didn't even know. We just picked up the phone and said hello with no idea. How crazy is that? And then we had pagers, and then the pagers turned into, it would give you the message. This is where you need to go. And then the pagers turned into a cell phone. And the cell phone was this big in his car in the middle of his seats. And it was one of those things that it was like attached in the seat. And then the cell phones were bricks. They were like big, and you couldn't carry them around everywhere because they were so big. They've gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. Now I have a watch that I can actually, hello, and talk on my watch. So I'm always connected. Hell, pretty soon they're going to be having implants in your ears that are going to be your phones. You don't have to carry anything around. You have glasses on. You can read messages. I saw a dude with those on the other day with Google glasses on. I mean, y'all, it's getting to the point where you're going to almost be a robot, where you're not disconnected at any point in your life. And I'm telling you right now, humans aren't designed to be that way. Humans are designed to be focused. Humans are designed with two eyes in front of their head so they can look straight ahead and move forward. That's why they're designed. The ears on the side of your head so you can hear the things around you, to pay attention to that. If God wanted you to look back, if God wanted you to pay attention to everything, he would have given you eyes all around your head. But he didn't. He gave you eyes to look forward, to focus on the front, to focus on where you're going. That's why he designed you that way. Your present behavior is determined by your future self. Where you're going, or where you believe, what you believe is possible, is going to drive your decisions today. And my hope for you today is that some of these words will convict you a little bit, that some of these words will stir in you, that you need to get more specific about your actions. You need to get more specific about your day, that you need to be more specific about the time you spend with your family, that you need to be more intentional about what you do in a 24-hour period, because every 24-hour period that you're designing is creating your life. That every small action, every small decision, every seemingly inconsequential thing has an impact on the day, on your life. on your future. Dream, plan, do. Have a dream. Have a desire. Have something big. And then by Jiminy's, go after it. Make your plan and go after it. Stick to your plan and go do it. I'm still, y'all gotta write these letters. I really want y'all to think about that ghost thing. I think that future ghost thing is pretty scary. If the ghost of our future came and visited us tonight and drug us around to show us what our life's going to look like if we continued on the path we were on. Sorry.
You're fine.
No, you're good.
Keep on.
That if the ghost of our future drug us around to show us, if you keep doing what you're doing, this is what it's going to look like. You keep doing what you're doing, and this is what your life's going to be. And you saw the impacts of your decisions on the people you love. You saw the impacts of your decisions on the people you care about. You saw the impacts of your decisions on your neighborhood, your community, your house, your life, your health. If your future self would drag you around and show you that, dude, I'm telling you right now, you'd make different. I promise you, that's why that story is so powerful, is because it made him make different decisions. It said that was the catalyst to him deciding enough's enough. I got to make this change. I got to do this different. I love y'all. We got some more SWATs. I don't know if we have SWATs today or not. I don't think we do. I don't have anybody today. I really want us. These SWAT meetings I'm telling you, the SWAT meetings are really important. And I'm a little disappointed that more of y'all haven't jumped in these things and done these, because they're super important. Don't be afraid of it. Okay? Don't be afraid of it. Sometimes we have to be your Christmas. Sometimes we have to be the ghost of your Christmas future. Sometimes we have to be the ghost. Aaron and Christy have to be the ghost of your real estate future. We have to be the one that says, been here, done this. If you continue on this path, this is what it's going to look like. If this is really what you want, this is what you got to go do. Sometimes that's what it is. All right. We're going to go. Everybody's stirring. So we got kiddos getting up and getting to school. So see y'all tonight. I think we are at 5:30, Chops and Hops in Watkinsville. Be ready to have a blast. We're going to all have a ball, have a good Christmas time. Make sure that you're there. Looking forward to seeing everybody that's going to be there. But love y'all. Be good. Be great. Be you. Have an awesome Tuesday. Bye, y'all.